Cool. You want to drive for a moment, Ian?
Yeah, sure. I can start. Yeah, this is the Node tooling meeting. It's May 14th. Got a small group today, so probably just keep it short. Do we want to go through these agenda items, or did you just want to jump into the parsargs issues you want to talk about, Joe?
Yeah, does anybody have anything to add on any of these agenda items? I don't.
Let me take a look here. Yeah, I don't think we do. I think maybe argument parsing is the only thing that we want to talk about today. So we can just jump right into that.
Okay. It's weird. Is sometimes this is so weird. Google Drive won't let me paste a YouTube link into a doc. Why? Anyway, I don't care. Whatever. Yeah. So let's see. Just kind of adding a couple names here. So the work, of course, is in the package stuff. And if we want, I can even screen share and we can go that way if we want.
Sure.
Do this. Great. Get you out of the way. So these are the issues, right? These are all born out of the couple of comments that were on the initial PR, my first shot at work. So this one, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have decided that we are going to support short ops, and yeah, I think that's all that we're talking about here, right? We should do short ops.
Yeah, I think we seem to agree on that. I think it's just a matter of how it gets added to the kind of spec or algorithm that we have right now, right?
Yeah. I'm just going to put that in there.
I have always been more of on the side of implementing the minimal scope possible. But if folks are mostly happy having it, like, I'm definitely not going to oppose.
Yeah, I agree with you, Roy, but I feel like this is such a common thing that it makes sense to just do it. But I'm open to whatever.
Even if we don't implement it, we just, like, I kind of agree with Jordan's comment here that, like, single dash foo should not mean the argument is foo.
Yeah.
So even if we don't implement like dash and then multiple short ops, we should make dash foo not work. Like, that shouldn't be, it should have to be double dash foo to get that on.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me maybe correct this and say we agree that dash foo should be, what, dash f and then dash o, right? Or short ops. I think we agree with Jordan's statement. Cool. Great. So that's that. This was born out of a comment from Ben and Jordan. Kind of the linter stuff. I think Jordan is maybe not wanting to further make the standard. I'm not sure exactly, but he's suggesting we just use ESLint.
I'm in favor of that personally, but I actually haven't really used standard much. I usually use like ESLint and Prettier in my projects.
Mhm.
So that's my personal preference, but I mean, I don't feel super strongly one way or the other.
Okay. Yeah, I know some people like standard.
But do they like the set of rules or the
I think so.
UI
I think
itself?
I think it's just opinionated, and people
Yeah.
like, I'll just use that.
Yeah, because even we actually moved from using standard to actually just using ESLint with a standard config. So in all the npm repos now, we're doing just like we're running the ESLint bin, but we're still using the standard like set of rules, right? But just consumed via ESLint config standard plugin.
Okay.
What is Node? Node itself uses ESLint, right? We should follow like those style rules because this is eventually, hopefully, going to go into Node, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Does someone want to just take this on? It seems like it'd be a pretty quick, easy thing. I mean, I can also ask Kai because he wants to help, and he was on ESLint.
Right.
So I think he'd be happy to help there if we want that to be the case.
I'm just trying to take a look here at what the actual rules are in Node.
Where are you looking?
Yeah, I don't know how they manage in the Node project. That's a good point. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. You're faster than me trying to look it up on my local file system. I forgot where I put the project.
Yeah. Yes, I don't know if this is telling us what we want exactly, or if we want to look at
it was.
Yeah, okay. I was going to look at the package JSON, but how do I get back? Nope, wrong way. Come on, forward.
So it looks like we kind of have our own rules and plugin.
Yeah. ESLint plugin Node core,
which is kind of interesting. A lot of stuff in here.
Yeah.
I wonder. What is the tools? Yes, lint rules. What do we have in here?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I mean, this might require a bit of work. I think it would be nice to match the Node rules, but I mean, if we're talking like copying over all these custom like plugins and configs and stuff, that might be overkill.
Yeah. All right. So maybe we say, it would be nice to get as close to, Node.js / Node. Dang it! Please stop that. As possible, and I can ask Kai to take a look at this, as he has some expertise here, and could maybe, if it's not the same, at least parse it enough to figure out what would be a good middle ground implementation.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, like, I mean, this whole parse arcs thing, by the time we're done, is only gonna be like a few hundred lines of code, probably, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Probably like 80% of those rules don't even apply.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I will ping Kai with that afterwards. This is kind of related, if you know, from the same comment as before. You know, Ben was saying C8. Jordan is looking for NYC. You know, I don't have a horse in this race.
I also don't have a strong preference there. I think either of those, and then I'm fine with just pushing it to somewhere like CodeCov or something.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Ben says that's what he's got Node.js using. I don't know what he means by that. Exactly.
If that, yeah, I mean, if Node has switched over to using that, then sure, let's just go with that and push it to CodeCov.
Okay.
Do we have any tests yet?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
but not a lot. I can show you real quickly.
I was just curious if there was any, like, do we have any code coverage whatsoever? And if we do, then we can push at least something, right, to CodeGov, and gives us a starting point.
Yeah.
I could probably do this one. I actually haven't played around with C8 before, so I wouldn't mind giving it a try.
Okay. All right. Again, we should try to match what Node.js. And then I'll just assign you.
Yeah, yeah, if you can. I should be in here, I think, right?
Says you're busy.
I sure am.
Oops, there we go. All right, cool. Excellent. So getting back, you know, I think this is actually what I put in was maybe what you had suggested, Roy. This is again another comment I think from Ben. This is this business, you know, the arg slice stuff. I don't know if you can see this. Is my screen too small?
That does help a little.
Roy, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I remember having it in my original implementation from 2 years ago. I suggested I could bring it in. Yeah, I could look into bringing to this implementation just to make sure we cover that use case.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty clean. We could just pretty much copy this over and you know, use it in args, parse args.
What was the actual issue here? Was this the discussion about? Okay, this one's about just handling Electron, not about main args.
Yes, because I know we have talked about main args before, but
okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Then I'm on board with what you were saying, Joe. Like the chunk from yargs looks pretty reasonable.
Okay. So here.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's the same thing I was commenting on, actually. I think I had my mind in just the command line eval kind of usage.
Mm-hmm. In our implementation of parse yargs, do you think that this should just be, you know, similar to this, kind of its own file and just kind of import it into the parse args file?
Yeah, it seems like a reasonable approach, I think.
Yeah, it's TypeScript, but we can kind of undo that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the only type related stuff I see is like a couple of these function arguments and then the interface at the bottom there. So
Yeah, yeah, cool. All right, so that's there. If anybody wants it, feel free to step up. Let me know. I'll assign it, but otherwise we'll leave it hanging and I'll look at it when I can. So I just have like a a whoops in here just for fun. Do we want to, I know Node has kind of a more robust way of handling errors, but do we just want to have a bunch of error messages at the top and throw them, or do we want to just choose things other than whoops and have them in line? I don't know if it really.
Probably something other than whoops would be good. I guess if the goal is to land this in Node, like Node has that file that defines all the error codes and messages, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we just kind of mirror that, whether that's like just the at the top of the main file, or maybe it goes in its own file or something like that. And then when we do port it over to Node, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So to mirror what Node does in a minimal fashion, but could be easily ported. Cool. All right. And 3 or more dashes. So I think, this is in the FAQ. Darcy was suggesting that if you have 3 dashes, then this would actually be returned. And I don't know how that is really helpful.
That's kind of what Jordan's saying there too. I mean, I don't necessarily see how it's helpful either, but I'm not sure that there's a better answer. Like that's, I guess, kind of what you're indicating. Like the alternative, I guess, would be to collapse all of the dashes, right?
Yeah. So the way that Chris implemented it was remove all leading dashes. So I do a check if it's a single dash, and if it is, handle it. If it's more than 1 dash, then I just handle it as a double dash and swallow it as such. But I get the case that like you would want to error, because then like you did it wrong. Triple dash, you're like maybe meant to do a double dash.
Could we I mean, I think one of the goals here was like we want to avoid like throwing or like crashing when things don't parse the way we want it. Could that be like a warning or something maybe?
Yeah, info.
Yeah, kind of like how we do deprecation warnings. Could it be something like that? I don't know. I don't really know what the best practice would be here in terms of like how Node itself would handle something like this. Oh, Tierney just posted a message in the chat. He's joking.
Is he in here and I just can't see him because I don't have anything here? Yeah, let me do this.
Yeah, when you're screen sharing, all the waiting room and chat and everything goes away.
Yeah. Great.
Hello.
Hey, Tierney.
How you doing?
Oh,
Apologies for tardiness.
No worries.
no
We're just
worries.
kind of going through some of the issues that were born out of my first minimal PR on parsargs.
Yeah, but this one is similar to one of the discussions in the original pull request there, in which the hard part is that anything we want to throw or just indicate an error, right? It's tricky because it's going to be the end user consuming the app, right? So throwing an error might not make any sense to that user. So I guess it's a more fundamental issue that maybe we should be aware
Yeah.
of, like discussing these. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is the sort of thing too, where we could implement a decision and then, as we approach the larger group or something, have this be an open question, like, this is something we were unsure about. What does the larger group think?
Yeah, we gotta have an opinion. That's the thing. Like triple dashes. What do we do?
Yeah.
I guess one thing, we turn these into keys in an object, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we couldn't really turn triple dash foo into dash foo as a key name, right? Because you can start the key name with.
Well, I'm just, I was just taking full JSON format and having everything in quotes. In which case it shouldn't matter, or should it? Would it?
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not sure if that'll work. But that's potentially an argument for just stripping any leading dashes and going with that. Like that and showing some kind of warning.
So treating anything more than 2 as 2 and console log some sort of warning or info.
It's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Is
thinking.
there prior art for this? I feel like there has to be,
Good question.
like in Git or something. Like if I do, I don't know, what's a Git flag?
Force push something to master or main.
Okay, let me CD into Node real quick. RMRF. Terminal's taking forever to spin up.
Come on. So like, yeah, what Git unknown option.
I just tried the same thing with help.
Yeah, I also did that. Yeah, and it's fatal unrecognized argument help. So it just errors.
What did you do it with, Tierney? What command did you run?
I did help, like git log dash 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 help,
Okay.
and it just did errors.
Huh.
That's weird. Oh, well, you're not in a
Oh.
repo with a git. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
So
Okay.
what is our goal though? We want to produce some kind of error so that the user, like if I'm writing a script and I'm trying to parse arguments that a user is passing in, do I want to be able to like catch that error somehow and maybe print out my help or something?
I feel like catching that and then providing an option to say like match, like if this was 2 dashes, does this match a thing? And have an option to turn that on, but by default error, I think is probably good.
What are you talking about? Sorry, I missed the beginning of it. Are you talking about like a user implementation of this tool would do some matching?
I assume, maybe I'm missing the context here. Sorry, I assumed this was building a parser, or is this standardizing parsing?
We are working on building, yeah, kind of a minimal parser.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
So yeah, like does the parser just fail? That doesn't seem like a very good kind of experience, right? So maybe, is there some way, yeah, we can let the person implement or using the parser implement?
I feel like that's the right thing to do. is like return an error code and a status message and then let them handle that.
But what if they want to have more than, I mean, it's crazy, but what if they want 3 dashes? I mean,
Yeah, but we're trying to implement like the 80% use case here, right?
yeah, I'm trying to imagine, like, if I did 3 dashes and I got a key back that had a dash in front of it, if that's what I wanted, cool. If that's not what I wanted, then I would see it.
I mean, like, I guess from my perspective, like what I would expect here, I can share, let me close every tab. Let me,
You wanna stop
can I,
sharing?
do you mind if I screen share real quick?
Not at all, not at all. Let me stop.
Hmm.
Does anybody need to, do you need to be host to share?
No, I'm trying to think, real quick.
We are streaming too. just-
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking real quick. JSON V, CD JSON V R. Okay. Maybe. Oh God, which window is this? Code Insiders, I think. File. Okay. I think this is correct. Yep. Okay. So if I were to do, I don't know, for like I would expect if someone did that, I would expect the parser to return something like this code like some, whatever the error code is.
It's interesting. I don't know if we've really thought about, like, the returned object having an error.
I think we did talk about it at one point because I think that's what Yargs does.
And this is also just reminding me of a thread that I think from James the other day, where this is basically the API that it was like, you should have an error code and you should have an error message as 2 distinct things. Which is that is how I see most modern APIs being built, of like, when you get an error, let me have a code and change the message so I don't have to rely on the message. And like parsing that message. And then the potential value is like, cool, if I did like dash 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 help, give me that. So then I can, like, if I wanted to allow like a billion dashes and still figure out, it was dash dash help was like what we can interpret it was, I can say, okay, I like just route this to help, right? That also might be too much work.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I'm not sure how much of an opinion we want to take on this, right? Not saying I disagree, just like, do we do that? Do we do nothing? Or like, what's the least we could possibly do? I do think like just having the parser throw an error or fail in some way is not helpful. So we should do something.
Yeah, and I'm wondering too, even like in the code that I have right now with the whoops, which I think is maybe what we were talking about. I can't even remember, but maybe it shouldn't throw. Maybe it should just return right there with an object that has an error key. So we're being as disruptive, not disrupting as little as possible, I guess.
It's a tricky philosophical question about the design, right? Like, do we want it to always parse and give you like an error object, or do we want it to throw? I don't know. I don't really know the answer to that.
Yeah. Roy, do
I
you have
think
any
I like
ideas?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I like that idea of maybe just returning an error property within the object, and then like because there is these 2 different places, right? The end user, consuming user, and the developer. So
Yeah, and that also, like, having an error object allows you to manage, like, it allows you to check to see if there's an error with the error object and parse that and return that however you want. Like you can, if you want to prettily return the error, you can. And like if you want to add additional context, like Rome does or something, you could.
Yeah.
But if you want to just crash on that, like cool, you can just throw, and then like give the error code in the message, and like say, hey, did you mean the potential value?
I think we really wanted to avoid like throwing and just
Yeah.
Right. And so
if
I
there-
I mean more as a consumer of this, I can like say if there's an error, then I can choose to throw, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, I agree with that. I think we want to avoid the parser just automatically throwing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree then.
Yeah, so like my code could be if I'm expecting something due if args.error or whatever util.arg whatever the object is that I'm assigning this to, doing that and then saying like if.error, and then I can kind of handle it there. I could just straight up throw if I'm lazy, or I can do more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me. Maybe we want to like prototype something like that. Start going down that path. And I do feel like this is kind of a sort of thing where you need to like play around with it a little bit to kind of get like, does this feel right? Does this seem like the right approach? So we could try that and see what using it is like.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds good. I made another comment in that issue just saying, this question came up and the consensus in our small group was that we shouldn't throw, that we should return an error object. If anyone wants to hack on that, feel free. I'll look at it when I can as well. Cool. I think that was the last of the issues that were on parsargs. So
Right. Well, that took 40 minutes, so
yeah, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I don't think I had anything else to say about the things on the agenda. Does anyone have any announcements, news, anything before we go?
No, not that I can think of.
Yeah, nothing for me.
No.
Roy, I already saw your tweet yesterday about the new version of NPM 7, so.
Yeah, just adding more workspace support.
Okay, well, I guess let's leave it at that.
Sounds good.
All right, great.
That
Glad I
right?
could
Have a
swoop
good
in
weekend.
and make suggestions and then have the meeting end.
No, it's perfect. You gave great context there. I think it was really good. Cool. All right, well, enjoy your.
Okay, just Lika.